DJ, pop it up. Turn up.
Run the track.
Give it to me, Daddy.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in Smart Black Woman TV with Vernita Williams and Charles Cummings. Charles is running behind today as usual, so he'll be in the studio very soon. I would just like to thank each and every one of you for joining in. And again, it is still Black History Month. Hopefully you have supported your communities, your Black communities, and for Black History Month. I also suggested that anyone who has a business is Black owned, a Black owned business, if they would send me an email or a text so that I can also support your business. There are businesses here in my surrounding area in which I have supported, and I hopefully hear from you in my text or emails that you will also let me know your business that you have going on so that I can support it. Some of us struggle with our businesses, so therefore we look for each other to lean on. And with that being said, those of you who know others who have Black-owned businesses, if you can join in with me for Black History Month, the month of February, to help to support those organizations. And today we'll be talking a little bit about things that have been going on. I don't know if some of you have been paying a lot of attention, but I would like to say there's a lot going on in children between the age of 18 to 35. I think that the suicide rate is on a rise for that age group. And I was wanting to know from you out there, do you know where that stemmed from? Could some of that stem from your parents and how they carry out, or their friends and what they see on the internet? You know, a lot of things are going on in social media. You see all these fancy things going on in social media. People with this very expensive clothing, houses. They show the big homes, show the big cars, the Balenciaga clothing, which is very, very expensive. Louis Vuitton, all these different things can cause depression in your home if this is something that you're focusing on, a brand name, when you yourself may not be doing as well to support your children in that way. I don't think you should expose them to name brands only. You got to understand where Balenciaga and other branding companies get their clothing. They're getting them from the same places that you shop. And you can find them also in Walmart. Yes, Walmart. Walmart has clothing too. All clothing are just made and a name is put on them, brand names in which you really don't identify. You don't know who the Balenciaga is. These people make billions of dollars off the branding of their clothing, and no one ever see them or who they are. And you're following them and having your children as well follow them at these teen ages. But you got to understand that a young teen is only going to find a job that's going to pay her a minimum wage salary. Though the clothing that you have made her comfortable in, he or she cannot afford. And I don't know why we have people exposing their children to only name brand clothing when there are all other brands of clothing that are out there that are just as good as the brand that you're buying. Some people just shop only for brand, and I don't understand that tunnel vision either. That's more like a tunnel vision. You're going down a path in which if you never make that money, you're just throwing away a lot of cash on a very expensive brand name. It'll be nice if you knew about that brand. Where did it come from? Who's the person? What are their names? Do you know actually who owns Louis Vuitton? Do you know who the owner is carrying that name now? Sometimes there are owners that did start those names. There was a Louis Vuitton named person, but now that person could have sold Louis Vuitton and now someone else is carrying that name. And because of the cost of those items that people continue to buy, sometimes it gets to a point that I feel, and this is only my opinion, not for anyone to follow, but yet just think, think and use your head as to what am I doing with my money? Am I using it wisely? So these are things that sometimes come about in our lives that we tend to ignore. But I don't think it should be ignored, especially in our young children and how they develop. We should develop our children in how in which our lives start and what we need to do and how hard we have to work. So therefore, steering, pointing your, directing your child to finish school, to make sure they get good grades, do things like that in order to be accepted in colleges when that time comes for them is very good for them. And then if they do choose a good field to go into, and also I'll see them in again. And so when they choose to a career for themselves, and hopefully that career would afford them the monies to be able to buy the very expensive brand names, and they can continue to live on mom or dad's way of life. And so that's something that I wanted to start the show off with today, because we do have to pay more attention to our children and how they're developing. And this is our responsibilities to make sure that they're developing in an acceptable order of life, because it can be difficult and hard for a child. It can cause some of the depressions in which they go through, the angers in which they go through, because they want things that now you cannot afford, and you've had come into money in your life, and you bought all these brands for the child, and then when the child gets older, those brands cost a little bit more, and you're going to have to spend $300, $400, $500. And some of you don't have the payroll to put out $500 a pop just for a shirt, right? So these are things that we need to think about, and the behaviors in which we have around the house, what type of people are around the house. You can't always have company in your house and the children are there too. It can't go on every single day. Every single day, the child needs the attention. It's school time. They need to focus on number one, what is in front of them, and that's their education. So let's try to work a little harder as parents to make sure our children are getting our attention and taking care of them, feeding them, and making sure they are well educated and focused on what's in front of them, and that is finishing school. And look like Charles was entering the studio.
What's up?
Hey, Charles, there he is. How you doing, Charles?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Well, how was your day?
I had a good day. Did I follow
Awesome.
my little daily routine, as
Hmm.
usual. Up early in the morning. I like to keep my routine going. That's how I make sure I have the energy to keep going every day. Just have a routine, and that kind of solves that problem.
Yeah.
Or any problem of having any kind of depressions and things like that. We were talking about that earlier, but I guess
Yes.
we'll
No,
talk about that later. But I heard what you were talking about um, right when I came in.
yes, and that is I'm bringing Charles up to date on the conversation that I was having with you guys. Well, I was actually talking about parents and how they are helping to develop their children, what is being done, what is being done in the house and around them. And sometimes we tend to get into these trends, and trends have a lot going on in which some parents cannot afford to hang tough with the trends, like the Balenciaga, the Louis Vuittons, the Chanel's, all of these different brands that are very expensive brands, and which people tend to focus on, and also some people get stuck in those brands to where their children are only wearing name brand. That's when
Yeah.
I see some children are set up to fail, because they're not making the money to buy those very expensive brands. What do you think about that, Charles?
Well, I mean, when I grew up, I think I was a little spoiled growing up, you know. So, but I think that's one thing that only life can fix, you know. Uh, you can't fake experience. And I think when I really grew up and saw the real world, I realized, like, okay, in order to, if I want those Jordans, I gotta be able to go, I gotta cut this many yards, you know. Life really, those are the things that you can't, I think everybody should go through in life. Those are the important things of, I think, childhood, the foundation that sets everything for the rest of your life, and that determines how hard you grind for the rest of your life. So a lot of things, I think a lot of times we try to skip past the lesson and just get right to the honey, you know. And you can't skip the lesson. That's the most important part, is getting there. The lesson is what's gonna allow you to keep whatever blessing you got coming your way, you know. So that's the most important part. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in wanting to skip the hard part.
Yes, I think right now we're going through a bit of struggles because so much is going on now. That everything is on a rise, from the gas prices to the eggs in the grocery store, even the housing market. But people's salaries aren't going up as rapid as all of these changes. What do you think should be done about that? You know, we all have to speak out, we have to vote, and we have to pay more attention to who we're voting for and what we're voting for to be in office, and to support and help our communities. Because right now our communities are struggling. So many people have become homeless because of these surges in rent. And I know that, you know, there are a few states where people were living outside, and many
Right,
people are living outside. I mean, from state to state, and then
right.
now it's gotten to the point where people are buying tents to live in. Do you think the government should come in and help in those situations? And should they regulate things for the employers? What do you think?
Well, honestly, I feel like, based on my personal experience, what I've seen veterans, I've seen ex-government workers, of course, of all sorts, elderly, um, a lot of different people in that upbringing or with that background. I've
Mhm.
seen that. I'm sorry, I've seen them homeless, and that's like a sad. Of course, it makes me want to reach out and do something. But of course, the government should do something. I don't. I think that those things we shouldn't even have to ask for. When it comes to voting, I think those are things that we shouldn't even have to vote on. A lot of things should just be automatic, especially when it comes to just being uh, humane. You know, we are human beings. Of course, we have to take care of one another. I mean, one person being on the corner homeless, begging everybody, every car that drives by, I mean, that affects everybody, you know. At some point down the line, that's going to affect. So I just think that we should all work together in some way, but of course that's in a perfect world, you know.
Yes, those are things that, we have to pay more attention to, and try to do as much as we possibly can to speak on, and also try to help to support those that are out there. You know, you have family members that are going through struggles and hard times. Find out what their struggles, what caused that. And try to be as supportive as you possibly can to try to get them back into housing, things like that. But I understand that right now, the way the housing market is going, people
Right.
aren't able to afford to even move and get another place.
Right.
That's the very sad thing about it. I think that people need to shrink down to their expectations of the housing that they're accustomed to. If you're accustomed to 4 bedroom house, 3 4 bedroom house, maybe you need to go down to a 2 bedroom or 1 bedroom, just enough that so that you're able to afford it and have a roof over your head. I don't think you should be out in the street because you're looking for what you're used to and you're looking for it to be your price. You'll be out in the street longer, much longer. So as much as we possibly can support each other, we should do that. I don't know what a lot of you are doing out there, to help to support the situation and the cause, but this is something also that needs attention, and it needs some very close attention to what's going on, the people around you as well. People are getting very angry because of the circumstances that they're going through. And I can understand some of those angers, but we have to try to control that as well. So, that's one thing I did want to mention today about what's going on with the height in the gas prices. Everything is pretty much going up down here in
Yeah.
South Florida because of tourism and so many people moving down to South Florida. Heck, everybody want to live in a sunny state now. And now that everyone is moving here, the insurance, now people's insurance, when you renew your insurance policy, it's double now
Mm.
now, and I think that is very unfair. I don't think insurance should double. I think insurance should double only on behalf of a cause of an accident. When a person causes an accident, whatever that cause may be, unfortunately, you're the one that has that increased policy. I think that me driving as a good driver for so many years and no tickets and no, infractions or anything like that, I don't think my insurance should be raised. I think I should continue to go on and pay the cost that I'm paying, and that should be it. I don't think
Can I say something?
hmm
Um, One thing I feel like with number one, the inflation, of course, I think that the prices should go down on everything with gasoline and everything, but you got to kind of look at things. Either you're going to look at the cup halfway full or halfway empty. And I try to use that with every aspect of my life. And when I think about the higher prices with food, how can we get around that? A lot of things I cut out of my diet, and to think about it, it's like, okay, that wasn't even really good for me. So you can go up on the prices on that anyway. So it's kind of helping me to be healthier at the same time. And even with driving, everything is converting over to electric vehicles, EVs, and so gasoline, and we're trying to get rid of that, and stop that, So those are the things we have to get used to, just change our habits, our everyday habits, and insurance. I thought about that. That's true because I always had high insurance, especially down here in South Florida. I wanted a convertible, so my insurance was $600 a month.
Yeah.
But so I get that. So, but if we think about other things like riding the train to work instead of driving all that way, it would make more sense. You'd save all the stress of driving and traffic and everything, and just thinking of other ways to commute and travel. So I just think just changing our everyday of life, and just getting used to post COVID. I think, but after COVID, we all was kind of discombobulated and didn't really know what to do. Like, what do I enjoy doing? And where do I wipe? I felt like we was gonna ask where we use the damn tissue in a minute, but we were all discombobulated, and I feel like I've been learning myself all over again, and that really has helped me with just coping with the changes of life. Everything is going to change, and you got to be able to adapt, either adapt or get left behind. That's how I operate.
Yes. And I think, as we get older, we start to understand everything around us. And you come to find out when you get a certain age, and then you start letting go things that aren't so important that you
Right.
felt that was important when you were a little younger. You wanted that, and why can't you have it? Some
Right. I
things.
would have died for it too.
Yes. And also just depending on people
Yeah.
to be a certain way in your life. And and you
Yeah.
don't realize till you get older, till I didn't need you anyway. Why was I so hell bent on having you, speak to me when you're in your feelings about not speaking to me? And these are things as we get older. But what do we do with our youngsters when our youngsters are living that life and they are just developing? They're in their teens and they're growing and they have all of these issues and things that are being taken away from them. They're feeling as though things are not going in a direction it should. They enter schools, they enter schools, and before they may have been liked, but moving into a different direction, and then now nobody is talking to you. How do our children cope with something like that? What do we do? It's just life. And as you are saying, you have to live through it. And I think parents have to pay more attention to their children and encourage them more and give them
Right.
more. And I think if parents do pay the attention that's needed to your child, you just give them laughter for the day, even if it's for that time in which you're spending with them. I think it's good. And it does when you get around someone that is happy. Yeah, it's a much better feeling, that someone that's there and encouraging you and telling you, that you're a great person. All of those words of encouragement is what helps to build and strengthen people, and also can strengthen your children too. So if there are any parents that are going through those depressions in life, these are some things that you can do. And this is something that Charles and I had a conversation about earlier today. And Charles, you were talking about your journey and how you're able to get past the depressions and that you had gone through. So can you tell us a little bit about what you did for yourself and how you came to reach that? Where is it that it was your breaking point, that you no longer wanted to be stressed? You only wanted to be happy. What was the breaking point for you? And what did you do? And what's in your journey that's helping you and keeping you going?
Well, that's a good question. I think I had an opportunity to realize that I grew up a happy child, and I didn't have a whole lot of stresses that before my time. I was able to grow up late, and have sex late, do everything late. So
Mhm.
I appreciate that now being an adult, because hey, that's something that you can't get back. But that I just think that allowed me to just go back and think about that. And I don't know, I changing my surroundings, that made me just see everything clear. You have a clear focus of life again, when you change your surroundings and you think about who you have in your life. um, and I just didn't. I realized that since I grew up happy, and a lot of times I found myself sad, it was because of somebody else shit, and
Mhm.
and then I just got to a point where I was like, I'll be damned if I'm gonna be sad because somebody else life ain't shit, or they mama wasn't shit, or what else, because I've been really good, and it felt like I was bad because somebody else, I had a bad person around me, and so I think I got to the point where in my life I had to change that, and I didn't want to be around anybody that was gonna make me feel the way I didn't want to feel,
Mhm.
and when you put your foot down on that and don't let nothing slide, and you just get tired of letting stuff slide. That's not the life I want. I don't want to live a life of just letting the motherfucker slide my whole life.
Right.
And you get tired of that. And
Yeah.
and and even with just I think about my daily routine. of just going to the grocery store and there's prejudiced people all over just every day, and you have to deal with negativity from people, and and I think it's just important to stay prayed up, number one, and just stay positive, because so many different aspects are going at you, and all day in life just are just tugging at you. So you got to stay strong. You really do, and stay focused, because it's easy to fall off track, but I know one thing with me, I always try to get back, stay centered with myself, and have that routine I can go back to. Even if I fall off track, I feel like it's all good. I know I can go back to this routine that I wrote down, that I do every day. I know this routine works. I go up, I wake up in the morning, I take my shower, I go to the gym, where I run my errands. I know if I follow those things, I'm going to have a successful morning. So every day I try to follow that routine, and that's what allowed me to get in I guess get to be more consistent of living a healthy lifestyle, and I didn't realize how unhealthy that a lifestyle is, of just sitting in the house and not going outside and seeing the world, and it's like, dang, if you get on the internet, it's something you can learn every day on the internet, and I feel like, why miss out on all those different opportunities, all those beautiful things you can see, just everything, So I just try to just appreciate life. I think that's what it's all about, just appreciating life. If you don't want to make it difficult, or if you don't understand what I'm saying, just appreciate life, and that'll take you as far as you want to go.
Awesome. Awesome. It seems like you chose happiness. And
It's like, well, I did.
that's right. And you have to choose happiness. It's just like anything, like I say, I was saying to you, it's like if you even take a trip and you have to stay in a hotel, and that hotel is not up to par in what you're comfortable with. Sometimes, you feel that uncomfortableness. And it's with relationships. People need to choose relationships that are kind of like them. So if I'm uncomfortable in that hotel, I'll choose a different hotel. I choose a more prestigious hotel. That's what I'm comfortable with. So then when I go away from home, I won't feel so away and so away and disconnected from what you're accustomed to. So as I was saying to you as time was going before, you have to choose your friends and not let your friends choose you.
Mm.
So, and when you choose your friends and people around you, you'll be much more happier, and you can make your happy space as comfortable as you possibly can. You'll find that you can explore so many different things. As you say, you see so many things, you learn so much, you open up and you find out about yourself and a little bit more about who you really are when you pay more attention to yourself and how you choose to be around others and how the others are around you. And it's very important that the youngsters hear this too. And any parents, if you're listening to our show, and if also you're in our show, if you would share this with your children, it's not about people liking you. And that's one thing about youngsters, they want people to like them. But if you choose yourself first and know that you're a very strong and important person, then you can live your life and be happy within yourself. Like you said, you have fun. You have fun every day just being alone, and doing the things you want to do. When you're alone, you have the most fun, and you feel like
Yeah.
more comfortable, when you're by yourself. And it's good. And then when you choose the friends that you want around you, you both are having fun because that person is similar to who you are. My girlfriends, I've chose a lot of them, and a lot of them are like me. We laugh a lot, we joke,
Mhm.
we clown, we do a lot of those things, and we're in our comfortable space. There's no one around us. I can have a big party of all my girlfriends, and they're all gonna like each other because those are the type of friends that I choose. I choose friends that are similar to who I am because I am very uncomfortable with someone that just totally opposite of me as a woman.
Right. Right.
as a woman. So when to choose, girlfriends, and you on your side to choose male friends to be around you, they have to be similar to you. They have to want to laugh loud. They have to want the way you want to do it. And
Yeah.
because if it's different, they're going to be uncomfortable. And you too are going to be uncomfortable. So it's good that you tell your children and even within yourself, choose the friends to be around you, not them choosing you. So it was good to talk about that and friendships and how we connect and how we find our happy place. And we appreciate everyone that's in the studio with us. Please comment, like, and share our videos. We're going to go to a station identification and we'll be right back. Thank you.
DJ, pop it up. Turn up.
Run the track. Give it to him, Daddy.
What you laughing about?
That video, you walking like that. Right, I was cracking up. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I was strutting. I was doing my walk, walking like a talking. Oh, it's good to laugh. Good to laugh.
Yes, but Mom, let me talk about one thing. I'm glad I
Okay.
remembered. So, yeah, you know how all the kids they do different challenges online and YouTube and things like that. Different YouTube challenges, all on
Yeah.
social media, TikTok, whatever. There's one in particular. I thought, how about I try this little challenge? And it was the death chip challenge. Okay.
Oh, that's the chip.
This is the chip.
Wow.
The chip is still in the box because I only took a little piece of the chip, ate a piece of it.
Is it a big chip?
Maybe I'll show it to you. Let me show you what the chip looked like. Oh, well, it's in half. So, no, it's in pieces. This is just a piece of it. Okay. So the chip is pretty big. It's a nice size chip. Let me show you the wrapper. The chip comes in this.
Okay.
So when I tell you, I'm so glad I ate the small piece because I'm telling you that chip, that's a dangerous chip. So I can't even imagine what would have happened if I would have eaten a whole chip. I would have definitely been in the hospital or something. Like,
wow.
for real. And I couldn't imagine a young child eating that and feeling what I felt from that chip. And that's very dangerous to have children eating that chip. And I'm not saying anything bad about the chip. I'm not saying anything negative about it. I just don't think that it's suitable for children. And so if you're a parent whose child has been asking to do this challenge, that chip challenge, I would not let my child do this. Absolutely not.
Recommend you not.
Right.
Unless you want to be taking.
Please don't be mad at me, Pocky, that makes a chip. They make really good chips. I've had other flavors of chip from them, and they're good. But this chip is no joke. It's like I should have known it was like a $15 chip for one chip. So I should have known. But yeah.
Yeah. So it's not good for adults either.
Right. I've heard that adults haven't been to the hospital also.
Yes, some adults have gone in the hospital from after eating that chip. So that's something, just a warning to you out there. Be careful when ordering that chip online to enter into that chip challenge.
Yeah.
What's the challenge? What did you get out of it? You challenged it, you ate it. What's the prize? Is there a surprise? Is there a big bank that you're going to receive? There's a challenge.
And did I record it? I don't know.
What'd you get besides the hot ass?
That chip is a no-go. No.
All right. Yeah. You got to be careful of things you order online. You really have to be careful of things you order online, from all these, I guess, black markets. I don't know where they come from. I don't know if it's FDA approved. These are things that you're buying in the black market, and it's not good for you. It's probably not even good for your insides,
For real.
Things. So you got to be careful, and then you're paying for it. And it probably say eat at your own risk. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does there. But there are warning signs. Parents and adults out there, you're trying this chip challenge. It's not a great idea. Or if you like hot stuff as hot as it possibly hot as possibly is, then I guess that's the chip for you.
But boy, you gotta try to keep it positive, and don't hurt yourself. And when you do these challenges, somebody gotta say something, because I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff online, and enough is enough with the hurting yourself and lighting your arm on fire with alcohol, just dumb stuff, and stay positive with the challenges. At least make sure that you're not taking away and you're adding to. Try to do, and anything. I don't know. I'm not trying to tell nobody what to do, but
yeah, we just trying to help you out. This is a little help. We can try to help you a little bit or help you a lot. I think this might be a lot of help if you listen. Yeah. But it's all on you. We're not doctors. We're not lawyers either. If you feel like you want to eat the chip, go right ahead. But just don't say we didn't warn you.
For real.
Thanks, Charles, for bringing that up. I almost forgot about that chip you ate, and we wanted to talk about it. And children that are out there asking their mom to buy it for them. Well, it is a dangerous chip, so it should have warning signs on it.
It does.
It does.
Yes.
Is there an age limit on the chip as well?
I think 11. What was it?
11, really?
Or something like that. 16 or something. I don't know. Yep. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But there is an age limit on it, and read it before you do it. I think when it comes to social media, you can't post it online if you're under 13 or something like that.
Oh, because that I can see that.
Right.
Okay. Well, you guys got it. The chip is dangerous. We just saying, because it was tried. So, Charles, how did that chip make you feel? So, what was it? Your tongue? Was it after it got the swallow? What was it?
Yeah, it definitely burned my tongue. It turns your tongue blue, and it seemed like that blue on my tongue. That blue is hot as blue. That's a hot ass blue. I tried brushing my tongue, and drinking milk every damn. When I tell you that that's a hot ass blue, don't mess with it for real. And afterwards, my stomach was towed up. My stomach was towed up for
Oh,
about 2 days.
really?
Yes, yes.
Oh, was that immediately after?
Yeah, that same night I was sweating. That same night.
Oh,
At about 2 in the morning, I woke up sweating in the hot sweat.
because of that chip.
Yeah,
Well, I guess you learned your lesson.
yeah, yeah. I love hot food though. I'm a fan of hot food, different kinds of spicy food. But that was just, I guess, too extreme. It wasn't even good. It's not even good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did have some spicy food. It was a little spicy, but we enjoyed the meals last week, the week before last when you were here. And we ate at a Jamaican restaurant. I actually don't know the name, but it's in Boynton Beach Mall. And it's a Jamaican restaurant. And they had jerk pork, which is the first time I ever eaten jerk pork. Usually you see the jerk chicken, but this was jerk pork. And it was really good. This restaurant
Mhm.
cooks very
Right.
well.
They cook in there for
Yeah.
real.
Yes, and it was very good. So if you guys are in the Palm Beach County area, at Boynton Beach Mall, the Jamaican restaurant, the jerk pork is awesome. So if you like Jamaican food, that'll be a nice spot to stop at. And
Right.
yeah, but Charles, you go out to eat a lot. What restaurant that you've always liked down here have you gone yet? So
What?
you back home. Charles is back in South Florida. Okay. So what restaurants are there that you really like? It can be small cafes or anything like that. What restaurants do you like? I know you introduced me to a restaurant down in Fort Lauderdale that was very good. What's the name of that?
Kelly's Landing.
Kelly's
If you
Landing.
love seafood there, they have the best
Awesome.
lobster bisque, and they'll serve it to you in a little bread bowl. I tell
Mhm.
everybody about that place. Their food is so good. Yes.
Yes, that is an awesome restaurant. I did appreciate that when I did finally go down there to have. I think I had lunch down there, and I think I went by myself because some of my friends they were all over the place. So I decided to go by myself that day, and I did enjoy it. One thing about that restaurant, it gets crowded in there.
It does. And they
Mm.
only serve the lobster bisque on Fridays and Saturdays. So it's good. They don't even make it every day. So
Oh,
and
wow.
it's a New England based company. So they have the fresh New England seafood. It's fire.
Ooh,
But if
delicious.
you're looking for like fine dining down in
Mm,
South Florida, I think the best area to be is in Brickell. Brickell, Miami has some of the best restaurants.
mm,
Um, of course, there's a lot of places like Sugar. That's one of my favorite
mm.
places. Sugar. I took you there once.
Yeah.
The rooftop joint. You remember that place?
Oh yeah, that was the name of it. You been
Yeah.
back over there?
And I haven't been recently.
Oh.
I was just talking about it yesterday, actually. So I know it's coming. Coming.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice restaurant. I know one that I really like is at the Hilton Hotel Aventura. That cook in there, that chef can cook. Oh yes, oh delicious food. Oh my gosh, he has very good food. I really
Food
like.
get me excited, and I love when people cook it right. So I'm
Hmm.
just a foodie altogether. And now, but lately, I've been eating at home a lot.
Yeah.
And I
Hmm.
think at some point I'm gonna have my own little garden with my own little chickens over there in the corner somewhere.
Oh, you gonna have the chickens
I want
too?
to have all my own stuff. I just do, and it just seems like a cleaner way. I'm a little health freak. I think the more you get into eating, being healthy, the deeper you get into it, and just looking at different options to stay healthy. It's just so much going on in the world. I think about um, here right now. I'm in Fort Lauderdale area, and there's a trash dump not far away. And down here in South Florida, they're like mounds, you know, and you look at them and it's like, okay, oh yeah, that's a trash plant. And it looked like a big hill, but it's really a trash dump, you know?
Yes.
And you think about how close you live to these places and the drinking water and things like that. I don't want to drink the water living by something like that. You can only imagine what's probably in your water, you know? And so it just, the more I think about those different things, the more I want to stay healthy and protect myself and not eat stuff that'll make that may end up eating some, I don't know, you know, it's all kinds of stuff. And I don't want to say eat some shit, but people be eating shit for real. I don't want shit to eat.
And that's true, you know, you don't
For
want
real.
I tend to go out and eat at the restaurants for lunch. And I started to think about a whole lot of different things, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I know I went to one restaurant, very well-known restaurant. I won't even mention the name, but I had been eating there, and all of a sudden there was a cook change. And when the cook came in and they cooked the food right in front of you, the food is actually served as you order it. But this guy really, he murdered the food, you know. I mean, really made me not like it at all. I had to return it because it was disgusting. You know, I don't know if he wanted to put his own mixes in it. It was a meal that I usually order from that restaurant because it's the same meal. And it's a food chain, one of the well-known ones. And this guy decided to add something to it. I don't know what he added to it, some kind of sauce or what have you, but really murdered the meal for me. And as I ate it, I started thinking about all kind of other things, and you know, and being a little bit more careful as to where I choose to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think
You're
about
gonna
that?
raise chickens and kill them and eat them. That's Big Mom. Right, that's right. We gonna raise them and skin them and all that.
And throw them on the grill.
For real. All in the same day. That's some fresh chicken right there.
Yeah, and throw it, but it's on the grill. Skin them,
For real.
wring their neck, like Mom say, wring their necks. She was raised in Mississippi. She wrung some chickens' necks.
Right. I don't know if I can do that part, to be honest. I had a damn chicken as a pet before I kill it.
Right. Mom, can you wring a chicken neck today? Yeah, that'd be scary. But yeah, now in our show, you know, we're kind of ending every about 10 minutes to go. We have a segment called
No, we don't. We have 1 minute left. That shit's gotta go.
Shit's gotta go.
That shit's gotta go.
That shit's gotta go. So Charles, what you got that really needs to go? I mean, I got one that's really a real good one, and I wanted to hit the nation.
You go. You tell me first.
Prejudiceness needs to go out the door. Excuse me. Go. Prejudiceness. That shit's gotta go. You guys gotta get over this. You gotta get over the prejudiceness. The jealousy, the prejudiceness, the treating people different because you're jealous of them, or you're not liking them because they're doing okay, whatever it may be. That shit's gotta go.
That shit's gotta go. That's right. And also that shit's gotta go. I'd say stop not putting yourself first. Stop not putting yourself first. Put yourself first always. It don't matter if you got kids, grandkids, great grandkids. It don't matter if you got elephants, chickens, dogs. It don't matter. Put your damn self first before you put that damn dog first. That shit's gotta go. Put yourself second, third. That shit's gotta go.
Them dogs in those restaurants and in the grocery stores. That shit's gotta go. I know you love your pet, but that shit's gotta go out of these restaurants and out of these stores.
Mom, do we have to get off? Do we have to get off at 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. That's why I'm like, that shit's got to go. What else got to go? Our show's got to go. This shit's got to go.
For an
It's
hour.
8:01.
Yes, but you know what? We were in a restaurant not too long ago, Charles.
Oh, we don't have to get off.
And it was a fine restaurant, 4.5-star restaurant, very nice restaurant. And it was part of the hotel. What hotel was that, Charles? What hotel was that?
Which one?
The Ritz-Carlton. Was that Ritz-Carlton we went to a few weeks ago?
And that was Ritz-Carlton. That was Ritz-Carlton.
Okay, nice restaurant. We're sitting at the restaurant table, the tables that go straight across, like a bar style table. And we're looking at the ocean. We're facing the ocean. Food is getting ready to be delivered to us. And all of a sudden, this big dog, okay, big dog. I'm in a big high stool. The dog was a big dog. And the dog come and nudged me on the leg, you know. And when I looked over and I see this big dog, which startled me. But I'm like, ma'am, can you please get your dog? And she was, you know, I mean, the lady was not fair at all. Oh, she's okay. You know, what do you guys feel about that? Is there anyone else that feel the way I do? Charles, I don't know if you are in with me on this one, but I'm going to express myself when it comes to this. I am not comfortable with dogs in restaurants. Number one, dogs' hair, release them and it flies in the air. It can get in your food. Or the dogs, I think dogs are to stay at home. Not
it was a
restaurant. And in the grocery stores. I was in the grocery store about a few months ago, and there was a dog there sniffing on the foods because he smelled the food. He's sniffing and sniffing and sniffing. And of course, if he had the chance, he'd have bit into the meat he was sniffing on. Because he's a dog. He's not a person. People are putting, you want to clothe your pets, you want to put fingernails on them, you want to put eyelashes, whatever you want to do with your dogs. I think the dogs should be kept out of these particular areas in grocery stores and in restaurants. And that's something I'm very uncomfortable with. I don't think people should be so selfish and bring them. How about I go down in the hood and I find a dog and I bring him to the restaurant, and then you'll look at him like, ooh, but it's not fair because you brought yours, I bring mine. When people start to get like that and start to treat you the way where you're ignoring others and being inconsiderate of others, because it's very inconsiderate. I mean, I have a little phobia of being around pets. And I have grown a lot out of that phobia, but yet I'm not too comfortable with having them in the restaurant where I eat. Now, I had a pet myself for 18 years, love my pet to death, but I didn't take my pet to the restaurants and the grocery stores with me. That was just not a place for him. We have a comment from Taliba. What Taliba say?
She says some have anxiety and stress issues, so they use them for support dogs.
Some are support dogs, and I do agree with you on that. Many of them aren't support dogs. Okay,
and I think the fact that we have a lot of support dogs out, that's made it a little bit the rules a lot more laxed, you know, and which I don't think. Me personally, I don't have an issue with animals around unless it's aggressive, you know, or unless it's at the table, it's right at my table, you know. But we were at a public bar, you know, so not everybody likes dogs. So, and if you got a large dog, this was a golden retriever, you know, so this was a large dog. That's considered a large dog, an 80-pound dog, you know, so. I understand. My mom is afraid of dogs. She don't like dogs, you know, like not like that. and your dog was a small Shih Tzu, so I get it. So I think I'm not against it, and I guess I'm not taking sides on this one. I just think if we all are more considerate of one another, and maybe that person could have had an issue with stress, and they just didn't have the little badge on the dog, and maybe you did have an issue with the dog. So if that person was a little bit more courteous, and I don't know. I just feel like whatever issues we have in today's world, we can always come together and figure out a solution where everybody happy. And it doesn't have to always be the right against the left. And that I don't even see how people still follow politics. I know I don't really talk about it. I don't even know how people still do that shit. And it's like, it's made for you. It's set up to to go back and forth at one another. So
gang
member, right? And so I don't like a lot of back and forth. I don't respect people that want to go back and forth. I don't do that. I think that real adults, you give your feeling on something, and that person give their feeling, and we come together with a solution. We don't just keep going back and forth. That's pointless.
Right.
And we go in circles.
Exactly. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Charles. I think that
Charles gonna be president one day. No, I'm just talking.
I do think that the Republicans and Democrats. I just think that I've seen it more on the Republican side, more so speaking on behalf or downing the Democrats. I think it's a Crippin' Bloods mindset, where people want to bully each other because of the color of the team that they're in. And then they connect Black people with being Democrat. Not all Blacks are Democrat.
That's true.
I'm an independent voter. I don't vote for you because of your color. Okay? And in saying that, this is at the end of our show. And it's a great show. We would start our show next week. We're talking about Republicans and Democrats and how it has come to be such a big fight amongst them and not being able to come together for the country, for the betterment of the country. Thank you so much.
Of humanity.
Yes, humanity. Thank you so much for joining in with us with Smart Black Woman TV, Charles and Vernita. We'll talk to you again next week. See you then. Bye.
Love you guys.
We're shining bright, and we're shining the light on us like no other. Neighborhood Planet, our neighborhood, our world. This program was made possible by Neighborhood Planet Broadcasting Systems, Neighborhood Planet Network, and from contributions to NPNTv from viewers like you. Thank you.